men.
So what does masculinity look like today with this new generation?
Black women surviving. So we all have different perspectives.
Accountability.
I mean, because everything, I'm going to be real honest with you, and I'm going to be very transparent. I don't know how heterosexual men do it, but I'm going to be honest. Women, y'all too damn expensive. You got the weave, you got the lash, you got the wet, you got the manicure, you got the pedicure. You want a bag? I can get you a bag, but it won't be the bag that you want. It'll be a diamond bag, because I ain't gonna get no Birkin, no And I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to heterosexual men, y'all got too many damn rules. You can't wear your pants this way, you can't wear this color. You can't even eat a damn banana, then they calling y'all gay. I'm like, what's the point? Everything you do, there's always a question. Okay, men don't do that. My grandparents raised me. I grew up down a hayride, tractors, bulldozers, everything you can name, going hunting, all this stuff. I had a male figure in my life.
But I think the problem is the men mad because we can do all that for ourselves. We can buy our own, we can buy our own lash, we can buy our own person, we got our own job.
It's still a car note, car payment, insurance,
we
everything.
do all
But then they
ourselves.
still expect the men to do that though.
No, we don't.
Majority of the ones I've seen, they do that. For example, we moved to Atlanta. What was the old girl?
That was her.
That was her.
But see, I disagree with this.
That's a handful. It's a lot of them like that. There's a lot of women out here that ain't got it together. They look good, but they ain't got it together. It's rare. Just like it's rare for you to find that good man. You know what I'm saying? It's rare. You know what I'm saying? When we find them, we hold on to them.
Yeah.
You're not playing. But it is that men is finding their value. And now it looks different. Because we used to be quiet. When a woman comes into a relationship, she tell you everything she wants.
Well, who told y'all to be quiet? Nobody asked y'all to be quiet.
I ain't quiet.
Society. Okay.
He'll deceive himself. He'll listen to all her rules, all the things she said that she won't, and we like you so much. We so caught up on your prettiness that we would sit there and agree with like, I don't do that. And then 6 months later, like, this shit tough.
Did we tell you guys to do that?
There's some truth to
Did we
that.
tell you guys to do that?
It's a self-imposed
But
boundary.
But do women require it?
I have a final statement. Okay, I have a final statement about masculinity. I think masculinity boils down to a man with a plan for his life, and he can offer you or, you know, propose for you to be a part of it. So like you were talking about, like routine, basically, right? Like, this is my routine. I love your presence. I would love for you to be a part of my routine. Are you down with that or not? And I think a masculine man has a routine and a plan for his life. And I think that's when men and women butt heads, when men try to like buckle or accommodate, like, okay, well maybe I can, like, if she already has a routine, like that's where things get tricky. It's like true like masculine feminine, and I know this might be like a little crazy thing for me to say, but I feel like a man with a plan, like this is what we do, this is already got it laid out, like you down with it or you not, like that's the simplest way for things to go. And that's like the most masculine feminine situation. Like maybe you want to have all the Birkins and the bags and all that, but I'm gonna have it covered and this is how it's gonna go, you down or not. Like I feel like that's masculine. Like
I agree with that, but what men that I've met, most of them can talk a good game, but actually like they can articulate it. Let's say that.
Exactly, and that's why 6 months later they can't hold it.
Sometimes when you get in the midst of that, they actually really don't even have a plan. So how can you invite me into that plan?
And it takes time.
Yeah, but I 100% agree with that masculinity definition as far as like a man having a plan. But like for me, it's about observing him and seeing is he actually following through with this plan that he proposed. Right. Because I mean, talk about it all day. But I
think it takes long to see that. Like you see, if a man is like, I go to the gym 5 days a week, I wake up at this time to be at work, I pray this time of the end, after a month, you can see if he's doing that every day or not.
Absolutely.
Right?
So my question is, when that man come with that plan, is he implementing in that plan to where you can be his support? Because you say they talk a good game in the beginning, but what if they talk the game and they fall off along the road somewhere? Are you implementing in that plan where you can be the support?
Absolutely, that's what I'm paying for. Of course, I'll be the support. If I was already implementing the plan and he falls off, then I'm gonna pick up where he falls off. But what I'm saying is, most of the time, most men do not come, as she said, with like masculine men coming with a plan in hand and saying, "Hey, this is my life, and I would love to invite you in." That doesn't usually happen most of the time. Because I can even go back to my ex-husband. When I met him, he didn't have much. We didn't have much. But we came up with a plan together, and I started to push him to do what he wanted to do and push.
You.
Yeah, exactly. And then I fell back, but although I was pushing him, I was also still simultaneously working on my shit too. So I was getting my doctorate while I was pregnant, still trying to be a wife, still trying to be a mother.
And you have to step into the masculinity because he wasn't doing that.
Exactly, because he was more focused on what he wanted to. And I kept saying, just because you got married to me and we have kids, you don't have to stop doing what you're doing. I'm gonna still try to figure it out.
Thank you.
Because that's what partnership looks like. However, after 10 years of doing that, it's a negative. It's a no-go.
Do you feel like you took enough time to vet him to truly see?
Absolutely not.
And you feel be grown, like that happens.
Absolutely.
Like I said, it's like they know what we want. I guess like
I was 26.
yeah.
So that's
Do you not get it on?
no.
Shoot your shot. Turn it to matchmaker.
Masculinity all the time. I remember my father, my grandfather would not stand to see a guy wear earrings. That's the phase. A lot of guys wear earrings. Is that masculine or feminine? When you look at tight clothing, guys wearing tight clothing with
Skinny legs.
Is that masculine or feminine? Has it changed? I would say yes, because masculinity has changed over time.
Yes, because you have men that have nose rings that got
It's like LaRhonda, yes.
Yes.
And
Yes, that's what he's saying.
To answer the question.
Right. Yes or no?
Let's make sure let's make sure we be specific when we talk about. I got a nose ring, but I'm a full-blooded man over here.
So again, you can't. That's something the definition of masculinity will change.
But if we stay on the aesthetics though, and a couple of things that's consistently come out of the room is leadership.
There you go.
Like that's what's coming.
Big L.
Leadership is actually been the thing that's missing.
Right.
So I'm willing to say yes, it's transformed over time because leadership, men don't actually consistently lead.
That's right.
That's true.
And that's just go back when you said we come in with a plan.
Yep.
So he
I
can't.
think majority
Undeveloped men.
I don't think he's saying they're not losing anymore. I think he's just saying it declined.
when they work, like it comes, the characteristics and the traits come out when they're at work, like leaving and doing those magnificent things that you guys do at work. But when it comes to the household stuff, I feel like societal norms have played a huge part in it, where they're like, oh, if it has anything to do with the house, the home, the household, that falls on the woman. So she is left to carry that. So there's no leadership within that routine and how that.
I think women need to be confident in running the home. We want the man to do it.
You better get your job.
Women run the home.
Yes.
Well, hold on. Hey, ask her when you say run the home, be specific.
Yeah, right.
Just be specific.
You don't think so sad? You don't think the woman runs the house?
I want everything.
Say it to them.
When I say run the home, the man is the enforcer. The woman sets the rules. So the kid, you tell the kid not to have a cookie, right? The kid come to daddy and say, "Nah, I want a cookie. He give you a cookie." Mom come downstairs and she say, "I told him that they can't have a cookie." Now the daddy mad at the child. Why you ain't tell your baby that your mama said you can't have a cookie? The daddy the enforcer. The mama set the tone in the house. Cause she's the nurturer. She's the one who cooks. She's the one who cleans. So as far as leadership, we're talking about outside of the home. It's more of an outside thing.
Okay,
Come on, sis.
We're enforcers.
Tell us.
Do you feel it's your job to run the home?
Absolutely not.
Hold on, you said it's their job, right?
Oh.
Hey, hold on.
He has a different kind of man up in this room. I don't know what I'm about to say.
Let me say something real quick.
That lady ain't running the house.
We have an equal partnership. But
Oh my God.
No, so that's why I was finna get to. Hold on real quick. That's why I was finna get to when you said you don't think a woman should run a home. But nowadays, if it's a situation like that, they'll sweep it down. The man is a control man. I'm just saying.
So what do you think?
I'm gonna everybody have.
I think some of us are still caught up in traditional roles, but
Well, that's what we're talking about, right? Have things changed?
So you run the house?
absolutely.
So we can all agree things have changed.
Absolutely.
Yes or no?
Get
The absolute black and white is I think part of where we find ourselves with this disconnected relationship because it is more nuanced. Now let me just say, it probably has nothing to do with the women in the room. But there's some women who can't cook.
Yeah,
They can't cook. But the men can cook.
said always come out.
He said, but the men can cook. And I know some women who have tried and they still try.
yeah.
Okay, I want to hear it.
And because of that, why wouldn't it make sense if the man's good at it and he enjoys it for him to do that, as opposed to putting the stress on somebody who doesn't have the capacity to do it?
But what if the household is buying groceries? She doesn't have to cook, but she needs to make sure there's food in there for the man to cook.
So it's cooking a masculine or a feminine trait.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
That's really good.
The question.
It's whoever can cook the best who has the time.
Categorized into like a masculine and
Okay.
feminine trait.
I want to hear what he said. He said it's y'all job to run the house. So go ahead and say that.
Come on, friend, because it's our job, baby.
Go ahead.
We're gonna hop on the couch.
Go ahead, go. You think he's worried?
I'm a running joke.
She can do things no man can. You feel me? So
None of us would be here without a mother.
Going back to
No, I just said none of us would be here without a mother.
oh, thank you for talking me.
Yeah, it's okay. I honor you.
That being said, when it comes to the household, when it comes to the mother with the mother, not only her job, her responsibility to run the household, but she don't know how to nurture it the way she don't know how to, but she's around her truth. So yes, it's her job, it's her responsibility, because a man he can't do that. A man can't do what woman can do. So his only job is to lead that woman, because she's the most valuable, the most protected, the most important thing on this earth, which is why there's so many of y'all. But that being said, we have to lead that, which means we lead and guide by direction and understand ourselves. But that means everything inside the home, God do, because we lead everything outside the house. Make sure the house is going to be standing up. Make sure the house is going to be a house. But y'all going to make sure the house is a home. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's y'all responsibility. And we don't understand our responsibility as men, that y'all with masculinity traits that y'all have to deal with. But that's what we're talking. Yeah.
All right. So what's on the
It's hard to be aesthetically pleasing without a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, things on the wall.
But it's not a hands-off thing. We're just not in there. That's the part that I wanted to make sure is there.
What is
All right, we're coming up on the last minute for this episode, and I want to let two people close us out. 1, 2, go.
You go first.
So, if we go with a pure black and white definition, has masculinity changed over the years from our grandfather's time to where we are in 2025? We got to go yes. Right? We have to go yes because we also look, especially within the African American community, a lot of our men are either dead, in jail, or other circumstances where they've been removed from the home. Therefore, the women have had to step in. Now, let's make sure that we're very clear that when we look at 2025, what we're starting to see more of is what actually happened on the plantation. Is that they took the men, stripped them from their families, and the women were protecting their kids to make sure their kids didn't end up like their dad. So there's a lot of things subconsciously that we navigate, but we miss it, and because we don't enter that into the lexicon of the conversation, it puts us in a position where we have this fight back and forth. Because without the black woman, there is no black family. But also, there's a need for the black man to understand he has utility, and he actually has an impact that is greater than just being transactional. There also needs to be a partnership.
Absolutely. So I would 100% agree that it definitely needs a partnership. And if I had to say anything, I would just say that for black men and black women, that we need to reclaim balance. Black men need to feel and black women need to rest. And without those two things, we're going to continuously, 30 years, 200 years from now, we're going to continuously be in the same, our kids are still going to be having this conversation. So again, black men feel, black women rest.
I'm stuck on that one.
I like that. It's in my Facebook post tomorrow. I'm gonna quote you.
Before we end this episode, let me tell you all what I did yesterday. I was invited to the first studio audience of TikTok. Stormy Steele, she's the CEO of Canvas Beauty, Body Glaze. I met Super Scent. So they all sent us some items for the women. And get them for you, girl. I'm gonna tell you one thing. She already got some. It'll make you want to do some things.
It make you horny.
Say that.
We like a good
So, I'm telling you, once you smell it, give it to her. She's gonna still want to get it up. I'm dead.
I went right to sleep.
Well, let me get two of them bags.
Y'all women ain't getting none either.
All right. And thank you to Greg Kason and Inspired Culture for the drinks. And we will see you all on the next episode. Yeah.
Yeah.